Hello guys, can you guys see me? This is properly set it. I realize, wow, you guys can see the light. 2 seconds. Now, okay. Today I just made a little bit changes with my camera. Today I'm using my iPad, but instead of the back of the camera, it's the front camera. So hopefully you guys could hear me and see me properly. Is it okay? Because today I'm just using one light to save some space. 1 second. Seems like it's not okay. It's not straight. I still can't see me properly because of the light. Okay, just give me 2 seconds. Let me check on my laptop. I will need my... Okay. So, I'm actually going to cook something today. Just let you guys know. And right now is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Right at 2 o'clock. So just give me 2 seconds. Let me check if anybody's here already. I don't know. I think the front camera is not that bad. What is this? What's this here? Okay. My soy sauce. It's a little bit white part of it. Okay, just 2 seconds. Let me go to live stream. I have to change the... Wow. It's not good. How should I do this? Because the light is completely in the camera. It's a bit better. Somehow it's too light, too bright. 新年快乐. I'm still trying to fix this. It's not easy. It's just like how the camera, the iPad, and the light still it has a light spot at the side. But 新年快乐. I think it's next week. Isn't it? It's next week. It's not even. I don't know. Last weekend, everybody was like have to work in China. I don't know how to do this. I think I just let the light at the side of it. If it's okay. But yes. So last Sunday, everybody has to work. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I could hear myself. Just let it this way then. I don't know how to do this with the light. It's horrible. It's really horrible. But I can't really move that. It's the 16th. 16 is the New Year's Eve. I know. How is it now? Is it better now? Is it better? I'm really worried my iPad's going to fall on the ground. It's not so. Okay. I don't know. It's not properly set it. It's like, I don't know. How many times I've been doing live stream? Every time I'm making some small changes, it's just going horrible. It's okay. Right now it's kind of okay. It's kind of blurry, but I guess I can't do anything for today. Maybe next time. Next week I'll try something different. I just thought, I could probably do this with the front camera, but it's not so good because the light is like shining right into the camera. This thing is really bad. Anyway, yes, I think it's next week, or because the last Sunday, the whole weekend, everybody has to work in China, so they could switch the days to have 4 or 5 days holiday. I think the official holiday is really just 3 days, and they moved 2 weekends around so they could have a whole week free. That's how they do that always in China. I'm not really happy with this. Can you guys just give me 2 minutes so I could change the camera back to the back? Okay, just 2 seconds. It's not good with okay, let me just change that. Okay, now what's happening now is that this is better this way. Where is the I'm stuck at it. It's not working. It's not working, guys. Okay, what about now? Okay, maybe this way is better. Just maybe. Just maybe. Oh, no. Okay. It's a delicate business. I can't really move the camera that much, but now I think it's better. I think it's better. Okay. It's pretty crazy today. The weather was like snowing for a couple of minutes, and then now it's just completely dark outside, and my camera doesn't work properly. Anyway, hi guys. I don't know. My camera, I just fixed it, so kind of fixed it, but not completely. Okay, I'll move my cell phone away so it's not distracting me too much. So I promised that I'm going to make like only Chinese food for from last week and this week until Chinese New Year. So it's on the 16th, and today is the 10th, or is it the 10th? What today? Why? It's 12th. Okay, so still have 4 days. But then I realized last weekend it was fashion here in Germany. So people would go on the street and they would have like a colorful parade, and then people, especially kids, would go on street and then they will distribute, or they just given free candies to all the kids. So that was happening on last weekend, and usually people would eat balina. So I thought probably it's also a good time to make cooking video on balina, because I don't have that on my channel just yet, but I have so many Chinese recipes already. So maybe this week, if I got time, I'll fit in a balina recipe. Besides of that, I also have a Chinese recipe in line. I'm making a pork belly steam buns. So it's a steam buns recipe, the traditional Chinese one, but inside it weighs pork belly cooked with dough banjiang. So, and I made the oat dough. It's a bit like the sourdough in the Western world, but it's Chinese sourdough. It's called oat dough, and I made that as well last week. So I have to make this week as well. So hopefully that will be the 2 videos for this week. And today I'm making wontons. I still have some filling. So these fillings are from last week, some leftovers. You probably have seen my latest video on deep fried wontons. So that's the leftover fillings. They are still good. They last for a while. You can always kind of frozen them in the freezer. Then you can, is it unfreezing or defreezing? I don't know. So you can reuse them. But it's better just to make your wontons at once and then finish them. And I realized sorry. I have some more wonton wrappers. Okay, I need to have a tissue here, completely wet. So yeah, I have some wonton wrappers, but then they are frozen. So when I took them, it was too late. I don't know if they are still a bit too hard for making them, but it should be okay. I'll just open them if I can find a knife somewhere. Or I can just poke a hole here. They are quite fast. Okay. So I just put them in kind of warm water and try to accelerate the process so I can use them now. Because if they are still frozen, they're quite hard. And it's difficult to make the wonton with frozen wrappers. The fresh ones always the best because they're soft. And they could stick really good. Frozen ones sometimes they don't stick because they are frozen. What else? Okay. So good. Cool. So they work. So it's like it's still quite cold, but I can feel like they are ready to go. Good. So I'm making some wonton soup today. Not the complicated versions I made last week and for the week before. So we're just going to make an easy wonton. Actually, this is probably, can you guys see? I tried to, okay, a bit closer to me so you guys could see it as well. The easiest way is to make your wontons small. I find that easier to wrap and everything, so they are not going to, they are not, wouldn't break easily. And then also very easy to seal. If you put too much filling in it, you get just really huge and you feel like you're eating Swedish meatballs when you're eating wontons. You put too much filling in it. Can you guys see that? It's pretty easy. So I think this size of wonton I could probably have 8 of them. And then that's probably the one portion for me. Okay, I'll just make 8 of them. Okay. See, the problem is when they are still frozen, it's difficult to separate the skin. They tend to stick together. Okay. Why was that 5 people and now back to 2? Okay. At least my camera works. I think this is probably the perfect way to set up my camera for live stream. Okay. It looks complicated, it's actually really easy and takes no time. I find that it's easy. You can also make all your wontons beforehand and then leave them in the freezer. So it's sort of like your self-made frozen food. And we want to have a quick lunch. Just take them out of the freezer. You don't even have to defroze them. I know they look fine now, but it's not the case for 10 minutes. I tried to use the front camera, it didn't work. So I just got it back. Seems okay, because I thought if I use the front camera, I can see the screen, then I don't have to turn my laptop on. It's making so much noise. I don't like the noise from the fan of the laptop. Okay, that seems okay now. I'll do this really quick. It takes really no time. I just need 8 of them. Then I will make a really easy soup base. Then that will be my lunch. Actually, I'm starving now. It's like over 2 o'clock. Usually I will eat at 12. So it's only for live stream. I'll do it a bit later to fit everybody's schedule. Right now, because Chinese New Year, it's crazy in China. Everybody's trying to get home, and then people just have to do their shopping before holiday starts, because everything will be closed for like a week, literally a week, and it's unusual in China. Okay, it's only once a year really. I thought, what should I do for Chinese New Year myself here? And then yes, I use a ring light. Does it look weird? Does it look kind of unnatural or something? The ring blocks the camera sometimes. It's horrible, I know. But only because I'm using iPad for live stream. Next time I'll try use my cell phone. It's just smaller. Probably it's better as a large iPad for live stream. I just thought because my iPad has a 4K camera, so the quality for live stream will be better. But probably it's a stupid idea. Prefer to have a cell phone that can go anywhere with it to do live stream. Don't know. Okay. So I like to put in a bit less than half tablespoon of the filling, but it's really depends. If you have like fresh wonton skins, sometimes they can be really fast. And is it fast? Are they stable? Not stable. Really I don't know what's the word should be the best word for that. You mean DSLR? I don't think there's a difference. This camera or for my, I use good camera for filming, but for live stream I just use my iPad or iPhone. Just easier. I don't know how to connect to my professional camera to do live stream. Just too much work for me. I don't have that time. I tried at the beginning, but I realized you need a lot of equipment to do that, and I don't have that. Do I have 8 already? I'll make 10. There's still so much filling left over. I'll make 10 of them then. Okay. I think it's DSLR. I think it's okay live stream. Just for now, for live stream now, to use my iPad. Maybe later on when I can get not 5 people watching instead of 5 people. There's 500 people watching. Then I will think of something else. See, like those skins sometimes will break, but it's not because like I didn't do it properly. It's just the skin. They are really thin and frozen, can break really easily sometimes. Okay, it's probably enough filling for the second time. Probably tomorrow I can have that as well. Okay. Okay, that's all of it. Put my this wrapper, you really have to seal it. At least use like here, use like plastic foil to seal it, otherwise it'll get dry. Then you won't be able to use them anymore. Here, so much, it's probably enough for 5 portions of the skin. It's 250 grams. I think that's enough for 5 portions. Okay. I don't want to say, but it's probably not enough for American portions. Okay, for small Asian portions. I'll put this away. Okay, I need to find a space for that. Somebody's texting me. So I'm going to boil this. Okay, here. Okay, you can see it. It's probably better this way. It's hopefully you guys can see it. Most of the time, if you just do one portion, you don't need a large pot like this. I just turn it to really high heat to cook the water quickly until it starts boiling. And I can show you guys, here's are my wontons. They're all like pie sizes, I guess. This one is slightly broken on the opposite side, so they all look like almost identical, but they don't have to be identical. Okay. Then we just need to wait until the water starts boiling. Then we can cook them. It doesn't take really long. Okay. Now you guys can see my fingers are covered with flowers, but you don't really need like flowers to make your wontons with frozen skins, because they already dusted with enough flour already, you can see. And for the soup base, I'm using light soy sauce, like here. And then we have sesame oil. If you have lard at home, it's probably good to use lard because it has just this more flavor. But I guess sesame oil is healthier as lard. So vegetable fat instead of animal fat. We're going to need some salt and pepper as usual. Chili oil if you want something spicier. And then just water. I think my grandma always make noodle soup just with soy sauce, lard, and water. That's everything you need for a really simple noodle soup. So there start. Okay, the water is starting. It's boiling already, kind of simmering here right now. It doesn't take too long. You can just drop them in. Drop my wonton into the pot of water. With this magnetic stove, it cooks everything really fast. You can heat up the water really quick. I think 10 of them is enough. So you guys can see while they are cooking, you can put them aside. Let us make the soup base. So a bit of soy sauce, I think like 1 tablespoon or so. And then sesame oil. You can smell it. So it's a unique fragrance. Okay. Then I think I'll put these two babies back. I don't have enough space here. Okay, then I also have some boiling water. We're going to dilute it with some hot water, really, to make a soup. So that's about it. Meanwhile, our wonton is also fast, almost finished cooking. You can see they're almost done. So it's really quick, really, because the wonton skin is really thin. It's much thinner as the regular skins for dumplings, the regular dumpling wrappers. You can see if they're floating, which means they are cooked. I can turn the heat slightly lower. Okay, I think I'll give it probably 2 more minutes just to make sure it cooks through. I don't want to eat raw wontons. We can then, meanwhile, a bit of salt. So you can just add as much as you like, and a bit of pepper. Here I'm just use regular black pepper. You can also use pepper powder, like most Chinese will do. It's just finer and has a strong flavor. Okay. It's probably ready now. For this filling, I add some pork mince, mushrooms, white mushrooms, and black fungus in a bit of soy sauce. Okay. You can see that from my last week's video. Now I'm pretty sure they're all done. And transfer it to the bowl of soup. Try not to add too much fluids, then it will dilute the soup base. I think 10 is really the limit I'll be able to have. It's really that easy to make your wonton. Okay. Every one of them, the wontons is like tiny meatballs, but mixed with vegetables. So that's ready. I'm putting it aside. Sorry, I'm walking around the hotel while doing the live stream. It just, the table is way too small to make something complicated. So I have some chili oil here. It's just the regular one I always use in my videos. I think a tiny little bit is enough. I don't want it to be super spicy, then I wouldn't be able to finish the whole thing. Okay, just tiny bit. I would say half teaspoon. Well, 6 people are watching. Okay, now it's ready. So how long did it take? 20 minutes. I'll say less than 20 minutes. But if you have to make your own filling, obviously it's going to take a bit longer. And if make your own wrappers, wonton wrappers is also going to take a bit of time, but it's really not that difficult. The wrapper, you can use your pasta machines. Really, a lot of people make them at home with pasta machines. You can just roll them to really thin. Okay, that's it. Tout un appétit. So hopefully I can show you guys how it looks like really inside. So it's really just small meatballs, but it has mushrooms inside. It's a bit like a German Maultaschen. But the soup, obviously, with soy sauce is completely Chinese. I guess I also need some water for this. It's quite spicy. It's only half teaspoon. It's super spicy already. Can you guys see it? I guess I don't need to move the camera anymore. I just leave it this way today. I don't want to break it because this my iPad right now is kind of floating above my light. I really like any second it could just fall on the ground. I prefer not to move it anymore. Yeah, somebody was talking to me. Good. So, I guess my husband could have probably 15 of them. I can have 8 or 10. Depends. I see lots of like Vietnamese Chinese restaurant here in Germany. They like to add wontons in their noodle soup. I think like we were in Hong Kong not long ago. Then we had like similar things, noodle with this kind of bamboo noodles. The noodles were made with bamboo, so really thin, really thin and really chewy. And they would add wontons on them as well. But they always like to have some shrimps, like seafood in it. It's not very typical, really, to have shrimps or crabs in it. Not from the area where I'm from. We usually like to make like tiny wontons as well, like really small wonton, but we use a different wrapper, like really small, probably a 2/3 of the size, and use very little filling. People would just use a chopstick. So if this is a chopstick, they would just dip in a little bit of filling. So that's probably less than 1 teaspoon of the filling and mix. They just dip a bit of filling into the wrapper and grab it. Then that's the small wontons. I never heard of having wontons in hot pot. My husband, we always eat with dumplings. Very often frozen dumplings in hot pot. Usually is dumplings, not wontons, but it doesn't really matter what you want to add in. The other day I saw a picture someone posted on Chinese social media. So right now in China, people are really into a food delivery service. So you can get almost everything delivered to your home within 20 minutes, no matter where. So people would order pizza or pasta. Those are like really regular things, but you can order like pastries, cakes, fried chicken, or just regular Chinese noodles and stuff. So everything, you can pretty much order anything from almost every restaurant in China. Then you just need to pay like a 2 RMB or 3 RMB for the delivery. So it's really cheap and you can order anything you want. And this person on social media I saw, he ordered hot pot. So from one of those really famous hot pot restaurants in China called Haidilao. So it's really popular. You always have to wait for it. If you don't have a booking, very often you have to wait for at least an hour. And they will have like a really tiny chairs outside the restaurant, and people will just line up or waiting because the waiting time is so long. And then they will serve tea for free for customers who are waiting to go into the restaurant. Apparently it's like one of the restaurant was rated which has the best service. Really? Why? Is it like some kind of sanction to against people to buying stuff from China? Sounds like a sanction to me. To pay 120 what? 125 what dollars? I think it's a sanction. That's stupid. They think like, anyway, doesn't really matter. I just know people working really hard in China to make a living. It's not like really easy money. Is it only in Sweden or is this everywhere in Europe? I have no idea. But Donald Trump is doing something with Chinese solar panels. I think they want to add like, I don't know how much it is, but it's also sanctioned to against Chinese solar panels and Korean washing machines, which is funny anyway, but doesn't really matter. So anyway, this person ordered hot pot delivery, and it was so much. It was like hundreds tiny plastic boxes with all the vegetables, meats you would usually put in hot pot. And then they would have another 100 tiny boxes with all the sauce you can probably use to dip with. Is it expensive in Sweden? We were actually trying to book our hotels in Los Angeles and San Diego. Then my husband realized I realized as well how expensive the hotels are right now in the US. It's so much more expensive than 5 years ago. So we couldn't find really, so around Disneyland, we couldn't find any hotel really under €100. That's crazy, and all of them looking like motels. Really. Okay, $13 is a lot. I find everything is a lot more expensive around the world. It just, our salary is not increasing. Everything is more expensive except our salaries. Okay. Today actually somebody was posting, because I have some friends still in Australia, in Sydney, and one of the person who is he sells real estates in Australia, Sydney particularly. And then wait a moment, where is it? He was selling a new development around North Shore in Sydney. Like North Shore is really a lot more expensive. Like people would say the richest would live there. They would prefer northern instead of where the city is. City is more like Chinatown area. It's not particularly nice. And this new development, I was asking what's the average price if I want to buy an apartment. So it's really nice. He said it has a water view. You can see probably the harbor. You can see the harbor bridge, etc. And he said I think 2 rooms. So he said around 80 square meters. Quadratmeters is Deutsch. Square meter, 80 square meters. I think 2 bedrooms probably cost $1,520,000 Australian dollar. And it's not even a house. It's 80 square meters apartment. And this apartment probably doesn't even have a view. I don't know. Not all of them has a view, but over $1,500,000. That's crazy number. That's like nobody can afford it. Really crazy. I find that in general nothing is affordable anymore. But I realized like last time when we visited London, it was actually cheap. Finally, it's cheaper than some of the stuff. Like KFC, McDonald's was really much cheaper than in Germany. It's kind of funny. And £50 you can get a cup of coffee in a coffee shop. It's not possible in Germany. Very often it's a lot more expensive. And we're looking for flight to go to Los Angeles from here, Germany probably. The cheapest one we find so far is with Lufthansa, so direct flight will cost also over €700. It's all just crazy expensive. I'm hoping Germany will stay like affordable for a while. I think right now in the US, inflation is way too high. It's crazy when you compare the price, the hotel price. They also have kind of tax for tourists. Tourist tax kind of stuff. Was like crazy number. It was like $60 a day or something. How could they encourage tourism when the tax is so high? Well, it's just we almost thought we probably should stay in Orange County and drive to Disneyland. Maybe it will be cheaper, but everywhere is expensive. Around June. Crazy. I think June is probably not even the high season. At least in Germany, their kids are not having holiday yet. In my head, it's always July or August is the most expensive time to go on a holiday. I think now it's just everywhere the same. Almost finished. Still have one left. DM the supermarket or which DM? In general, the stuff in Germany is cheaper. That's why lots of French would drive to the nearby German cities, and go to their groceries in Lidl and Aldi. And Mark, I think so. My husband said the same thing, because when I didn't know this, but he told me, like, when the time was still with Deutsche Mark, and then they have to switch to euro, so they did the exchange rate, how much Deutsche Mark is 1 euro, and they will say that much would be accurate, so they did the switch. Everybody changed their mark to euro, and after that everything went more expensive, just because I think, like, the same currency in between so many different countries is only good for holidays. It's only for traveling, which is good. But then when you think of the economics, how it works, it doesn't really work. It would, in the end, it would happen what happened with Greek, and then end up, like, everything became more expensive in Germany. I find it's like that. I think just because they changed the currency, there's huge difference now. But I never had I think when my cousin came to Europe to study, I think more than 15 years ago, she went to Marseille, went to France, and at that time it was like 10 RMB equal 1 euro, and the highest point was like 15 RMB equal to 1 euro. And when you look at now, it's about between 7 to 8 all the time. 7 RMB to 8 RMB equal 1 euro. So the value of euro dropped dramatically, so much. I think that's probably the reason why US seems a lot more expensive now. Also could probably because of the exchange rate. But it's just stupid to go on holiday now. Everywhere is more expensive than Deutschland. Almost everywhere. A relative of us went to Thailand obviously, but they stayed in a 5-star hotel hotel, 5-star hotels, and he said everything is more expensive. How is that possible? Everything in Thailand is more expensive than in Deutschland. He's probably exaggerating it. Is it? I find that RMB is good because RMB stays stable the whole time. It's not like euro goes up and down crazy and you don't know you should spend your money right away or you keep in the bank. The sun is gone. How is now? It's crazy. Okay. How is now? Can you hear me now? It's back. I thought it's probably internet. It's not really because the camera of the microphone. Let me give it a try. I think next time I'll really just change different light for this live stream. It's not really workable this way. I'll probably go back to my regular lights. This circle light is making so much trouble. Not very necessary. Don't know. I think next week. I don't know what I'm going to make for next live stream yet, but probably also something simple like today's. 19th. I have so much work to do. I promised the company to finish translating some of the documents by the middle of February. So it's only 3 days and I'm not even started yet. There's just so much going on recently. Traveling and then making videos, then time just flies. Anyway, we were like booking our flights over the weekend and we want to probably, I was thinking we could probably go to Iceland and to take WoW airline. WoW airline. It's really just called WoW airline. And then I realized it's not really cheaper. It could be even more expensive. I know, it's so close now, right? Like not long ago, euro is still so much higher than dollars, and now it's almost the same. There's pretty much no difference anymore. But then when you look at the products they're selling, like iPhone and what else? Drones or laptops, everything American products. Not even made in America, made in China, American products, and they're almost double the price in Europe. It's crazy. I think that's why they want to sign a treaty between the US and Europe, but European Union doesn't give a shit. They don't really care. They don't really want a treaty with the US. And instead they sign a treaty with Canada. But I don't see many Canadian products. Not in household. Not really. I think most of the time it's like computer gadgets. I don't even see American cars here very often. Probably none. There's more American cars in Australia, not many in Europe. Iceland is really expensive. I wanted to go to see the Blue Lagoon. Is this called Lagoon? But it's way too expensive. It's probably 800 euro or something for the tickets. But if we fly direct, it only cost 750, around 750. And if we don't bother the wait and all the long traveling, we could also take transit flight. Was also funny. I saw one with France Air. It was from Frankfurt flight to Paris and Paris to Los Angeles, and the flight back is with Lufthansa. Lufthansa is not flying direct. Instead, it's flying from Los Angeles to London and London back to Frankfurt. It's crazy. It takes like 20 hours to fly from Europe to the US. I find it's crazy anyway. So if the price is not getting any cheaper, we're probably going to just book the flight, the direct flight. This is no huge difference really. It's probably going to save like €100, but fly with 10 more hours. It's crazy. I don't know. Anyway, I actually have some good news. Instead of all the bad news, there's some good news. So my channel reached 3,000 subscribers during the weekend. So yeah, let me just check it again. How many? Sometimes I feel like for the past couple of months, I didn't really have much time to make my videos, and I felt the numbers is dropping all the time, and I just don't feel like going to the statistics and look at how many views, how many subscribers I get every day, because I would just get disappointed. That's why I haven't seen pay attention to the numbers for a while. But then with the weekend, it actually went to right now it's 3,021 3,021 subscribers, and yeah, thank you. I know I thought it could probably grow a lot faster, but I feel like it's just too much stress for me to always looking at the numbers. It's better just live away from it a little bit and then just focus on making videos what I want to make. It's probably a better strategy for me. My husband, his channel actually reached one of the channel reached 5,000 subscribers, and then one of the channel reached probably 6,000. Yeah, so both of them are a lot more faster than mine. I know, nobody's helping me. I don't always do myself. No, I thought it's okay. I think right now I always share my videos with on a Chinese platform as well. So people sometimes, some of the Chinese will see my cooking videos and they would be interested, and they will come to YouTube. Although they can't really use YouTube in China, but I think it's also good as well. On the other hand, I have a Chinese social media platform. It's slightly like Instagram. So it's like Chinese version of Instagram, but you can write like tons of stuff on it. You can read articles about stuff. And that on that channel, on that platform, I already have 4,000, and I start doing it a lot later. I don't know. So I think on my husband's channel, there's one video from our holiday in Mallorca, and he was testing his underwater cell phone case. And that video has my butt in it, and that video has over 1 million views. And I told him that my butt is more interesting than any other his videos, and over 1 million people have seen my butt. Oh, it's funny. They probably haven't seen my face, but they have seen my butt in my husband's video. Crazy. Think of that. Over 1 million people have watched that video with my butt on it. Crazy. But I actually want for a couple of weeks. I just didn't feel like making videos. I told my husband I haven't lost man. I told him I don't want to do it anymore. And then I realized I'll just keep doing it. Really, I feel, I don't know. It feels time when I finish it, it's kind of small achievement for me. So it's really, I don't know, if to reach would be great this year. If not, it's more likely it's not going to be that quickly. But doesn't matter. I'm happy with what I'm doing right now, so it's all good. I thought if by next year, we don't know yet, if just possibly if by next year on my Chinese social media channel I could reach 10,000 subscribers, and on my shop, I have a shop on Taobao. It's like the Alibaba in China. If I have that also reach 10,000 subscribers, then we could totally move back to China for a while. Now I don't know. I think it's good. I think if we're living in Europe for too long, it's almost 4 years now. I think it's like a safe space for us, and away from all the competitions, all the, I don't know, it's just living too comfortable. Like everything is cheap. There's not much stress and competition. Seems like out of lost in touch somehow. Because every time we go somewhere else, I just feel like wouldn't be a bad idea to move there for a while. Like we went to Taiwan. Oh, by the way, last week Taiwan had an earthquake, and yesterday was in Korea. South Korea had an earthquake as well. I think they are all like around the same continent, same, what is it? What it's called? Anyway, so Vietnam had earthquake as well last couple of months, and then so yeah, some buildings crashed, some people died in Taiwan. But anyway, we were in Taiwan probably 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I felt like it's a nice place to live at. And then we were in Tokyo and Kyoto, some Japanese cities. I thought, oh, Japan is a really nice city to live at. Then last week we were in London. I thought, wow, London is really the place people should go to live in. Although it's really expensive, I suppose, the real estate, but other than the really interesting city to live in. I just thought everywhere is kind of so much more fun than here in Karlsruhe. The small city Karlsruhe has population of, I have no idea. It's just too quiet, I guess. I want some actions. That's why probably we're going. I think that's also the reason why we're going on holiday so often. We are going to Schwarzwald, Black Forest, probably in 2 weeks. I want to go skiing, Skifahren. So we are looking for hotels. Probably take the train. Right now, my husband, he sold his cars probably last year. Then my brother-in-law sold his 2 weeks ago, I think. And so we don't have any cars with us anymore. We always just travel with buses or with S-Bahn or train. It's horrible. Yesterday we took the S-Bahn from Heilbronn back to Karlsruhe. I literally puked. I was like, oh, I just couldn't do it anymore. At the beginning, I was still reading a book. I was reading this new new book I bought in London. I so enjoying it. I was like, oh, so much fun. When we're sitting on the train, I have enough time to finish the whole book. My first idea was that. Thank you, 300,000. It's not much. Anyway, and I would just completely got sick. And I thought, wow, I can't do this anymore. Maybe I'll just eat a Duplo. So my husband had some chocolate and I had a Duplo. It was good when I'm having it. It has some hazelnuts, chocolate, or just sweets. I thought, wow, I can do this after having this Duplo. And then after it, I just got even worse. I could literally puke like right in the train. There was no open window really. I really thought I should just run out of the train, puke right away at the train station. It's not possible to travel with bikes in winter. How cold is it now in Sweden? Right, today is probably minus. Motorbike is more impossible. It's way too cold to ride a motorbike. It's -3 degrees. It was for just an hour ago. It was snowing outside. How do you ride a motorbike? I couldn't. I have a bicycle. I think that's the best transportation, and it's free. But it's too cold now to travel with a bicycle. Hello, cooking with a little spice. I know, in summer probably. Yeah, in summer it's a good idea. But the summer is too short. It's way too short in Europe. Anyway. But I don't know. I think for now it's good. And we're also looking into if there is any properties we could buy in Karlsruhe. If we're not living here, at least we could later rent it out, probably. There's so many students here. The university just nearby. It's probably 5 minutes walk from our apartment. I thought bike is cool. Yeah. I find like almost everybody's life is more interesting than mine at the moment. Anyway, so right now it's 3:07, and then I think I have done a good. And now you're so late. You are not a little late. I'm almost finished. I'm actually finished. So today I made some wonton soup with leftover filling from last week. And last week I actually made deep fried wonton. I used the same filling to make the soup. And it really took probably 10 minutes to make and then a couple of minutes to cook. So if you guys are interested, can go back to watch the replay. So next week I'll think of something. Next week will still be possible, but the week after, if we're go skiing, we probably wouldn't have time. But I'll try to fit in 2 videos this week. 1 week is with steam buns, the other is I have decided to make a blameless, if that's okay for you guys as well. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for coming and thanks for watching my videos. Pancake day tomorrow. Why is pancake day? Everybody have a nice week and everybody have a great Chinese New Year in 4 days. Yeah, and hopefully you can try to have some Chinese food on Chinese New Year, just like us. Okay, see ya. I'll have the Russian pancakes with clavier. See ya.